I thought it only fair to provide everyone with some insight into what this podcast is all about. That way, you don't waste too much time trying to figure out if you'll love it or hate it. Welcome to the Reality Hurts podcast. The Reality Hurts podcast is a harsh but insightful journey into rational thinking in what has become a largely common senseless world. Here we'll talk about trends, behaviors, absurdities, and the rapidly deteriorating human condition, which at this point is malignant. But does this sit well with your motivational content, you might ask? Well, being positive and inspirational also goes hand in hand with reality, no matter how painful it might be for delusional cream puffs. You've no doubt heard the phrase, "the truth hurts." Well, the Reality Hurts podcast is truth in action. As for the love it or hate it scenario, based on our current societal climate, I would say that about 50% of you will love it and 50% of you will hate it. Now, that doesn't mean I'm here to create divide. I'm just here to stand in the middle of it all and validate the way that 50% of you think and feel about a particular topic, while sending the other 50% of you over the edge with an anxiety meltdown. In essence, if you're a far-left, radical, hardcore liberal nutjob, we're probably not going to get along. On the flip side, if you're a far-right, radical conservative, or conspiracy theorist, pretty much the same. However, if you're a common sense, fact and truth lover, we're going to get along famously. Let me outline some indicators as to which side of the love-hate spectrum you might fall into. Let's start with indicators as to why you'll probably hate this podcast. You think a pregnant man emoji is valid and super cool. Newsflash, there's nothing valid or super cool about that kind of Harry Potter mindset. Your pregnant man emoji is nothing more than a delusional pipe dream. What you are in fact celebrating is the fantasy that a female with a vagina and all of the biological plumbing of a female can become a pregnant male simply because her mental illness identifies with being the male that daddy had hoped for during her 9 months inside of a different female's lady parts. You think 9/11 was orchestrated by the U.S. government. And I think that I have a big 10-incher, but at the end of the day, we're both going to be highly disappointed with the realities of our wishful thinking. You embrace the use of pronouns and demand everyone else embraces them too. Listen, me and the rest of the reality-based human population that have an IQ above 45 don't give a flying fuck about you or your pronouns. It's simple. If you're sporting a heat-seeking moisture missile between your legs, then you're a he, him, or his, and you need to use this restroom. If you're sporting a bearded clam between your legs, then you're a she, her, or hers, and you need to use this restroom. You believe the Sandy Hook shooting was staged. You believe you shouldn't have to work for food, clothing, shelter, or medical care. Imagine if our fellow Homo sapiens of centuries gone by possessed your minuscule brain capacity and ability to be a lazy whiner. Us humans would have become extinct long ago, and you wouldn't be here to hyperventilate about having to work. You believe chemtrails are a real thing. It's interesting that you have no phobias about a steaming cup of coffee, a steaming hot tub, a steaming industrial chimney, a steaming car exhaust pipe, or the sight of your own breath as you talk in sub-zero temperatures, but you can't fathom condensation created from 2,000-degree plane exhaust emanating into minus 30-degree temperatures at 25,000 feet is anything less than governments trying to poison you. Your parents must be so proud. You cling to misinformation even in the face of fact, reality, and common sense. Congratulations! You're a top candidate for the 2026 Ignorant Fuck Poster Child competition. Next, indicators as to why you'll probably love this podcast. You understand that truth and reality override misinformation and agenda. This is so awesome. It means that you aren't confused about gender. You don't attend protests. You don't believe Michelle Obama and her daughters are in danger from white conservatives. And most importantly, you don't watch The View. You believe there's two sides to every story and the truth lies somewhere in between. This would explain why you're smart enough to not vote for either political party. You understand there's male and female, while anything beyond that is social construct or mental instability. Kudos to you for being an intelligent, well-adjusted human being. You choose to look into things rather than take someone's comments at face value. As absurd as this must sound to many of you, it actually exhibits common sense and intelligence. You understand why countries can't and don't have open borders. And if you don't understand, simply comment below with a pregnant man emoji so we don't spend any more time trying to explain this to you. You agree that Greta Thunberg is nothing more than a misguided, useless daddy puppet. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add to that. It's perfect just like that. And lastly, you search for and embrace fact and truth above all else. This indicates beyond all doubt that you have no dilemma regarding which restroom you should use. All right, so if it sounds more like love, then enjoy the podcast. If it sounds more like hate, then dive into the episodes so you can comment about what a douchebag I am, because I know that gives you far more satisfaction than agreeing with something. So, until next time, keep it real.